Hello, my name is David, also known as Reclusiarch here on the great intrawebs. And this is a video response to DawnforgedCast, where he asks us to create ourselves as a role-playing character. So, what would my stats be? What would my race be, my class, and stuff like that. And I thought it was really interesting, so I'll bite. I'll do this. So, the task is to create me as a character with strength, constitution, and stuff like that. I will be using the Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 system. Personally, I love the Warhammer Fantasy RPG, but I think that the Dungeons and Dragons system might be easier for people to connect with, so I'll go with that. And I have played it quite a bit as well, so let's get started. There are 6 base stats. There's strength, there's dexterity, there's constitution, there's intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. And I'm going to assign each of these a value between 3, which is poor, and 18, which is really good. A normal commoner has around 10, 11. That's the norm. Of course, if they are specialized in some way, they have perhaps 12, 13, 14. You know, a professor will be smarter than a normal commoner, and a bodybuilder is of course much stronger than a normal person as well. But at average, a commoner 10, 11 on all the stats. So that's what I'm going to compare myself to. Okay, I'm going to be as honest as I possibly can, and perhaps you'll learn a thing or two about me watching this video. So let's start with strength. I have pretty good leg strength, but my upper body is no better than normal. I wouldn't say I'm a very strong person. So for strength, I'm going to say 10. I'm not stronger than the average human being, but I wouldn't say I'm weaker either. So a 10 is good. Dexterity. Let's see how Dungeons and Dragons define dexterity. Excuse me. Let's see. Dexterity. Dexterity measures hand-eye coordination, agility, reflexes, and balance. So, yeah, I have fairly good hand-eye coordination. Reflexes are okay as well. I am overweight, so my nimbleness and agility goes down the drain. Well, maybe not that bad, but it sure lowers it. But I wouldn't say I'm better than the normal human being at eye-hand coordination or reflexes. I do play a lot of shooter games, but I don't think it makes me better in real life with eye-hand coordination. I don't think, anyway. While in the game, I'm fairly good, but real life, it's probably the same as everyone else. So I'm going to go with a 10. I can be pretty good with eye-hand coordination, but as I said, I am overweight, so my agility goes down there. So I'd say about average. About average. 10. Okay, constitution. Let's define constitution first. This is what Dungeons and Dragons has to say about it. Constitution represents your character's health and stamina. So, what's my health and stamina? I've had back problems in the past, but I have overcome them, and my back has become stronger because of it, since I exercise it. I do get colds fairly easily, which puts my constitution down a bit, but I do have very good stamina. My favorite way to exercise is to run. I go out running in the forest or in the city, and I try to run 5 to 6 kilometers every other day, and I have been running 10 kilometers once or twice. I think that's fairly good. You other runners out there might be thinking, oh yeah, whatever. But for a normal person that don't exercise, I think I'm above average in that regard. So I'm going to put my constitution at 12. I get colds fairly easily, but I do have very good stamina. Intelligence. Okay. Let's see how Dungeons & Dragons define intelligence. Okay. Intelligence determines how well your character learns and reasons. Okay. That's it. How well do I learn and reason? Well, to be honest, I am a fairly slow learner. I do learn eventually, but I do not learn fast. That would be a lie. And logical puzzles sometimes puzzle me. Sometimes it works out alright, so my reasoning is on-off. Some things I can learn very easily. I don't know why, but I can learn rules very easily, which has helped me immensely when being a GM or DM for a role-playing game. I just soak up all the information in the books, and it sticks. So I'm not stupid by any stretch of the imagination, but I am not some sort of brilliant, super smart guy either. So I'd say, yeah, here comes another 10, a solid 10. I'm definitely not a 9. I would more lean towards 11, but I don't think I'm there, since I, in general, am a fairly slow learner. So a solid 10, not stupid, but not very smart either. Wisdom. Okay, wisdom. Now things might finally be looking up for me. Let's see how Dungeons and Dragons define wisdom. Let's see, okay. Wisdom describes a character's willpower, common sense, perception, and intuition. While intelligence represents one's ability to analyze information, wisdom represents being in tune with and aware of one's surroundings. Okay. I've always felt that I have had great knowledge about myself, about my surroundings, and about other people. I have this might relate a little bit to charisma as well, but I'll say it here. I have great empathy, which means I can easily recognize emotions that are being experienced by other people. I have a good situational awareness. I am generally fairly observant, unless you do this, and then I'm completely blind. So let's not go there. There's also, of course, the question of willpower. I've had a very traumatic experience in my life, which I felt very depressed. It was horrible for a few weeks, but that experience made me stronger in the end. It's called post-traumatic growth. So nowadays I'm actually more, let's see, I can handle emotions well, and it helps me get through tough times, which would break others perhaps, or make them feel very uncomfortable, while I might clench my teeth and push through. But I had to pay a fairly heavy price for that ability. But once you have seen the complete darkness, yeah, you can actually feel better about yourself afterwards. So, all these things considered, I'll give myself a wisdom of 14, which is good. Remember, a normal person has 10, 11, and I have 12, 13, 14, which means it's something I can be proud of, I think. And of course, charisma, which is the last one. And this, again, ties in a little bit with wisdom. But first off, let's define charisma in D&D terms. Okay, charisma measures a character's force of personality, persuasiveness, personal magnetism, ability to lead, and physical attractiveness. This ability represents actual strength of personality, not merely how one is perceived by others in a social setting. So, first of all, as I said before, I have great empathy, which helps immensely in social interactions. If I can read people, then any follow-up conversation becomes so much easier. I pick up on social cues. I know what topics make the person I'm talking to uncomfortable or interested. I know just after a few minutes of talking to a person what kind of jokes I can pull off. Do they like dirty jokes? Do they like sarcasm or more civilized jokes? Stuff like that. It's all about how they react to your conversation and how well you can read them. So in a social interaction, I'm fairly well equipped up here. I can also make other people talk, which of course also is a fairly good ability. I'd like to think I can make people feel generally comfortable around me, since I'm a honest and generally a very nice guy. Yeah, I'm not really used to selling myself like this, but there you go. Let's see. Okay, so there's also physical attractiveness, and well, not really. I have to admit, I'm not living in denial. This is my wisdom talking. If I was less wise, I might think myself extremely attractive, but I know I'm not. And I hope that my personal magnetism and social skills will make up for that. So, what would I give myself in charisma? I will give myself another 14, which is good. The empathy, my easygoing way, my ability to talk to people. If I was more handsome, perhaps 15. But 14, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So that's the attributes all done. Strength 10, Dexterity 10, Constitution 12, Intelligence 10, Wisdom 14, and Charisma 14. So, let's go for race. What race would I be? I would be a human, since I'm a human now, and I'm creating myself as a role-playing character. So, yeah, I know that's the most boring answer ever. But if I could relate to any other race, it would be still human. I don't drink, and even though I'm a big guy with beard. The dwarves, you know, in general, don't have the social skills I want to have. So a bearded human, that's me. Okay. Carrying on, we have, as a level 1 human, I get 2 feats, which are kind of like special abilities that further help you define your character. And the feats I have chosen are Endurance and Toughness. Now, I'm not sure if I can pick the Endurance talent, or feat rather, with 12 in Constitution, but I'll allow it. It fits my character so well. So, what does the Endurance talent do? Or feat? Talent. I'm mixing up Warhammer Fantasy in this. Endurance feat. The Endurance feat makes all checks to resist non-lethal damage easier. Such as going for a long time without food and water, or running for a very long time, which I do at times. So when I check against being exhausted, I get a bonus, which fits me. I can keep on running when others feel uncomfortable or just want to take a break. Or lay down and die, because that has almost happened with a few of my running friends. Toughness, that is plus 3 HP, and that's because I have a very high pain threshold, or I wouldn't say resistance to pain, because I can still feel the pain, just like any other. But I can like shut it off, so I can still concentrate while feeling pain. Not as well as without, of course, but I have a tendency to keep on going, even when the pain is tangible, almost. Is that a phrase in English? As you can probably notice, I'm not from England. I'm from Sweden, so this is my second language. So yeah, that's all for feats. Let's go over to alignment. Now there are 9 alignments, which are your moral compass, so to speak, and it's lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good. It's lawful neutral, true neutral, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, neutral evil, and chaotic evil. And me as a person, I'm extremely lawful. I believe, well, it was either lawful good or lawful neutral, but I believe I'm actually a lawful good person. I believe that you need law and order to get anywhere in a society. You need law and order should help the system to promote the good in both people and in the system it works in. So lawful good, definitely. I have no problem problems with authority figures whatsoever. I respect them, and I have no qualms with people giving me orders. As I said before, I'm not one of those, why do you command me? What right do you have to command me? If, you know, he's in a position to give me orders. Okay, I think we talked about this long enough. Well, there's a few more things, actually. I believe in a system... Actually, this is what I have. I pondered about... Okay, let me gather my thoughts here a bit. I pondered about neutral good and chaotic good as well. Well, back in the day. Now I'm very firm in my belief where I'm standing in this. But I believe lawful good is better because I don't like alignments where you can just decide, okay, now the law doesn't do it for me anymore, so now I'm going to put that aside and do things my own way. And I don't think laws should work like that. You know, neutral characters, neutral good characters, and chaotic good characters, chaotic good characters, they can really, like, well, as long as it suits my need, I might follow along, but then I do my own thing. And I'm like, what? Once the law has been set, even if it gets uncomfortable, you should endure, persevere, and in the end come out stronger. Yeah, I'm the definition of lawful. And some of my friends, you know, they hate the lawful good alignments. But I just love them. I love order. I love... It gives me a good purpose and direction. And that's not to say there's no free thinking involved. Okay, let's carry on. I could talk about this for hours if I wanted to. Okay, next up is class. Now this is interesting because the D&D races, D&D classes are very heavily combat influenced. You know, in real life, what class would I be? Would I be a fighter? No, I wouldn't be a fighter. Would I be a rogue? No. It doesn't really suit real life. So I'm going to do it like this. If I were transported into a fantasy world, what class would I be? With my personality, my motives, my way of thinking, what class would I be? And I've been thinking about this a bit. Fighter? I wouldn't know I wouldn't know anything about swinging a sword. I have no martial skills whatsoever. You know, I can fire a gun in a computer game, but that's about it. In general get nervous around guns, you know, in real life. Swords I like. I have a few up on my wall here, but I'm not good at fighting with them. So, not a fighter. Barbarian, that's the same thing, and I'm far too disciplined, and I'm far too calm to be a barbarian. I would never be able to fly into blood rage. I've been in very, very few fights in my life. So, barbarian, nope. Cleric, I'm not a pious man. I'm what you could call probably agnostic. I don't really like labels. If I say I'm agnostic or atheist, it comes with a whole lot of baggage. And people think they know all my ideals, all my thoughts and feelings on this subject. But I say agnostic, and that doesn't make a very good cleric. You know, if you don't have any faith, then, well, I could be a cleric that followed a philosophy, but I would not be a cleric that followed a god or gods. Of course, in most Dungeons and Dragons settings, there's no doubt that the gods are real. But given my thoughts about all of this, I would be a very bad cleric. So no clerics for me. Rogue, I wouldn't know two things about picking a lock, and the very name is almost chaotic, and I'm far too lawful a guy to be a rogue. So nope, no rogues. Wizard, I'm not smart enough to be a wizard. Sit down how many hours each day and study a book to get your spells? I would be crazy within the hour. That's for sure. Bard, I can't play any instruments. You don't want to hear me sing. Oof, no, you do not want to hear me sing. So that's out of the question. So there's actually only one class left that actually fits my attributes somewhat. And have you guessed it? It's Sorcerer. Now, what's the difference between a Sorcerer and a Wizard? Well, while a Wizard needs to learn all their spells from books and write them down and relearn them, you know, by teaching themselves over and over again, a Sorcerer, they cast their spells intuitively. They create them like a poet would create a poem, which fits my creative side. It's more from the heart than the mind, and that's and of course high charisma is needed for this class, and I have fairly good charisma. There's two things that might speak against me being a sorcerer, and that is, first of all, they are often very free-spirited, which means that they're often more chaotic in nature. So I would probably be the most lawful sorcerer ever created. Also, they are often very stunningly beautiful, and no. So anyway, I'm hoping my as I said before, my social abilities will do the trick, and my empathy. So, sorcerer, and just to put some meat on the bones, what kind of role would I be in an adventuring party? And what conflicts would I have? Well, chaotic people would probably get on my nerves, but I'm very slow to anger. So I would probably try and form them into more lawful characters. I would be a second in command. I wouldn't be the leader of the group, but I would like to help others excel. In my life where I am now, I'm very comfortable with it. And if you translate that into D&D, you know, where would I be in a campaign? I would be someone else who help. Since I'm very comfortable with myself, where I am right now, I would like to help others excel. So support spells, give them advice and stuff like that. I could also probably be the party's diplomat, doing some of the social interactions. But otherwise, you know, be the second in command guy, standing slightly to the right and behind the leader of the group. And yeah, I think that's it. If it was me, like, transported into a fantasy world as a sorcerer, like the guy I am now, I would probably be scared shitless, because I'm not used to people trying to kill me. I enjoy living very much, and the first sight of an orc with a two-handed axe rushing at me, I would probably run away unless there was a good friend in need, because I'm not used to combat. But if you take if you remove that from the equation, that would be my role, the support character. But I have rambled on for far too long already. If you've been watching, thank you very much. And Thank you, DawnforgedCast, for giving me this opportunity. See you around.